What is going on, everybody? It is me again. It's HorrorFan34, and welcome to another video. Now, I know it's been a couple weeks since I did a video. I've just been pretty busy with a lot of stuff in the last week or so. I've actually been sick, battling a cold, still a little stuffed up, but feeling better than I did before, so that's for sure. But I figured I'd get on here to do a top 10 for you guys. And in case you guys know, you can tell that I'm actually in a different background. Usually you see me sitting over there. Right over there. But my room actually got a makeover, actually. When I was over my buddy's house, I came home and my room got a makeover. My movie shelf was moved over here. This is where my TV would always be, on top of the bureau, and now we've got a new bureau in here, and now the TV is sitting all the way over there. So now I can lay straight ahead and watch TV that way instead of sitting to the side and watching it here. So my movie shelf was over there, and now it's back here where the TV used to be. So this will be the new setting from now on. But I figured I'd tell you guys about that. And for this top 10, kind of an interesting list I'm going to do. I really had to think about this one because I have so many great things in my collection, as you can see behind me. But this list particularly is my top 10 personal favorite releases that I have in my collection. Now, these could be because whether these are some of my favorite films of all time, or have excellent features and that kind of thing, or just really cool additions in general. So I figured, this would be a really cool video to do. And I figured, why not share my top 10 with you guys? So without further ado, let's get on to the list. So number 10 for me personally, for my favorite thing in my collection, is easily this. The Blu-ray collection of That 70s Show. Now, I think this was released by... I don't know who released this. I don't know. Doesn't say. Doesn't say who released this for some reason. I don't know why. But whoever released this did an excellent job on the release of this. I really like the look of it. Has sort of a Velcro feel around the black coloring, and I like the artwork of all the characters. They're a glossy feel, and I really like the way that the discs are in here. They're kind of in CD looking packages looking things, and they give you a synopsis of each episode and things like that. Actually, here it is on the back here. Get a look inside of what it looks like. But very cool set. And if you're a big fan of the show like myself, then I would highly recommend you check this out. Definitely worth getting. I think it might be out of print, but if you can find that for a decent price, I would definitely recommend you get that. And it's personally my favorite TV show of all time. I absolutely love That 70s Show. I love the characters, Topher Grace, Ashton Kutcher, Mila Kunis. I really like that show a lot. Number 9 is actually a more recent one that came out, and I easily had to put this one in here. Of course, the Scream Factory box set of Friday the 13th. I think this is an excellent looking package, even though it did come with issues with, Jason X and Jason Goes to Hell. Some audio was missing, but they're only minor things for me personally. This is an overall fantastic set by Scream Factory. For me personally, I didn't have the deluxe edition, or not even Blu-rays, but deluxe edition DVDs. So I'm really happy to have this because I never owned those features on any of the movies. So now have them all on here is really cool, and also a lot of really good new features. I say one of the best features on here is on the Part 2 Blu-ray, where they have 2 brand new commentaries. One was with Amy Steele and the author Peter Bracke, and the other really good commentary on there is the newer one. Has Russell Todd, Kirsten Baker, Laura Marie Taylor, Bill Randolph, the author Peter Bracke. That's a really fun commentary track as well. But yeah, this is an excellent set. Love the artwork on there of all the Jasons. I like how they all come in their separate case, which is great. So, like I said, has all the old features from the previous releases as well as some new ones as well. Overall, excellent set to have if you're a big Jason fan, and especially if you're a big Scream Factory person. I'm going to reach for the other ones over here now. Sorry. My 8th favorite thing that I have is the Die Hard films on Blu-ray. This is the first 4. I think this thing is also out of print. I got this at Best Buy a few years ago. And I really like the matte finish as well. And I like the way that it opens. Kind of like a book. With some great artwork in there as well. I mean, this is personally one of my personal favorite action franchises. I absolutely adore the first 3 Die Hards, and I really do enjoy Part 4. Part 5, not so much, but I really do love the first 3. Especially 1 and 3 are my favorites. And the one good thing on this Blu-ray that is really great is the documentary at the very end, which is over an hour long, where it's like about all the movies. And they interviewed quite a few people. They got to interview Alan Rickman before he passed away, which was cool. They interviewed Jeremy Irons and Kevin Smith and Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Reginald Vell Johnson. They interviewed, I think Stephen D'Souza's interviewed. They interviewed quite a few people. Like, you know, there's no interviews with Bruce Willis, sadly. Nothing with Bonnie Bedelia, but you do get quite a few guys. William Sadler, he's interviewed because he was the bad guy in Part 2. So, a lot of pretty good Blu-ray set. Next one here, number 7, is the Criterion DVD of Videodrome. One of my personal favorite Cronenberg films, and this is an excellent release by Criterion. Especially the main thing on here that's really worth it is the commentary with James Woods and Deborah Harry, which is a really good commentary. James Woods, a lot of fun on the commentary track. And I just like the way that this Criterion is laid out. Kind of like a Betamax tape sort of looking thing, which is cool. But yeah, excellent features on this, and definitely one of Cronenberg's masterpieces, in my opinion. It's my second favorite of his behind The Fly. Let's see, 10, 9, 8, 7. My sixth favorite thing I own in my collection, speaking of James Woods, is Cop by Kino Lorber. Personally, one of my favorite movies ever. It's one of the most underrated movies ever. And I've mentioned this before, has the best ending ever to a movie. I mean, the final shot is satisfying. And, you know, James Woods does a great job as Detective Lloyd Hopkins. You also have Leslie Ann Warren. You also have Raymond J. Barry. Directed by James B. Harris. This is the same guy that went on to direct Boiling Point with Wesley Snipes. And never directed again, sadly. But I will say the only feature on here is the commentary with the director, and it's a really good commentary. It has a lot of really good info, and overall, this is just a must-have in your collection because of how underrated it is. My fifth favorite release that I have in my collection is this, the Scream Factory Blu-ray of Big Trouble in Little China. I personally say it's my favorite release of theirs, just because of how packed this is, because it has all the old features from the DVD, has all the features from the Arrow Video Blu-ray, which is cool, and it has a lot of newer stuff on here too. They have brand new interviews with Dennis Dunn, James Hong, Peter Kwong. I mean, you have the newer interview from the Arrow Video with John Carpenter and Kurt Russell. You have a brand new commentary with Steve Johnson. Just an excellent release from Scream Factory. They did a really good job on this, and that's why it's my personal favorite release of theirs. My fourth favorite release that I have is the Cable Guy Blu-ray. This is the 15th anniversary edition. One of the more underrated Jim Carrey films. Much more of a different film for him. Around this time, this is much more of a dark comedy. And this thing is really worth picking up too. I know this is out of print, but if you can find this for a decent price, definitely get this for the commentary with Ben Stiller, Judd Apatow, and Jim Carrey. Really fun commentary track. Has a lot of other really good features on it. So, My third favorite release in my collection is a newer one that I just got most recently. The Tremors Blu-ray from Arrow Video. I mean, what more can you say about this that has not been said before? I mean, what more can you say other than that? Like, it speaks for itself. My second favorite thing that I have, in my collection is Survive the Night. Because this thing is probably one of my, I wouldn't say it's my most rare that I have in my collection, but it's definitely one of the more rarer items that I have in my collection. And back maybe like a decade ago, that wasn't the case with this. Usually, I got this as a birthday gift probably back in 2011. And I remember on Amazon it was like $10 or $15. Now it goes for like well over $300 or something like that, which is insane. But and I say this is one of my favorite things in my collection because I think it's an underrated movie. Pretty much the female version of Judgment Night, pretty much. If you've seen Judgment Night with Emilio Estevez, you pretty much get the same idea, but with women as the leads, which is cool. I know my friend Julie really enjoys this film when I recommended this to her. I mean, and I got it signed by one of the actors. I mean, this is just an awesome thing to have. And I recommend that film, too, a lot. And, of course, my number one personal favorite thing that I have in my collection is, of course, the Blu-ray of Judgment Night. I say this is my number one because Judgment Night is my favorite movie of all time. And I was so glad to see that Warner Archive got a Blu-ray copy of this or released a Blu-ray of this. And the picture looks phenomenal, looks really good in HD. I think Warner Archive did an excellent job on the transfer. No features, sadly, but it's still on Blu-ray. And it was just really cool to see this film in HD because I had the DVD of it. Well, I still do have the DVD, but I'm glad to finally upgrade it to Blu-ray. One of the most underrated movies ever, along with Survive the Night. Just an awesome movie. So that's pretty much it for this video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.